In South Africa, a new breed of wealth icon has emerged, the Forex trader. They don't trade in currencies alone, they trade in dreams. Their currency is image, and their market is your imagination. On social media, they are self-made millionaires, mentors, financiers, finance educators even. They speak of freedom. Freedom from the 9-to-5 grind. Freedom from debt. Freedom from the life they say you are trapped in. And the promise that they always make, they can set you free. In a country where nearly half of young people are unemployed, the idea of making money from your phone, from anywhere, feels like salvation. The Forex lifestyle offers hope, and for many, hope is worth more than truth. They're not just traders, they're celebrities. Their Instagram, that's their stage. Their fans and followers are constantly left hungry for the secret formula. And the magic phrase, the one that seals the deal, I'm FSCA regulated.
I am FSCA regulated.
But are they really? By now, we know the name of the FSCA carries weight. People here regulated and they trust you. They don't ask questions about where the broker is actually based. And that is one of the grave mistakes. The FSCA, the Financial Sector Conduct Authority, is South Africa's public watchdog. To some of us, those 4 letters means financial safety. But in the hands of some traders, it becomes a sales tool, a badge of legitimacy that may not be what it seems. Because behind the luxury shots, behind the polished success stories, is a system that can turn your money into nothing but a number on a screen. Gone. Just like that. And it begins with something called a juristic representative. In the legal world, a juristic representative is an agent who operates under another company's financial license. In theory, it's a legitimate role, but in South Africa's Forex industry, it has become something else entirely. A doorway to overseas entities operating far out of the FSCA's reach. These traders tell you they're FSCA approved, and in a technical sense, they may be, but the license isn't theirs. It belongs to a broker, and that broker may be sitting on a beach in Seychelles, Vanuatu, or Belize, far beyond the reach of South African law. It's a clever loophole, one that allows traders to market themselves as regulated, while funneling your money into jurisdictions where regulations is minimal and consumer protection is optional. For some, the dream unravels rather really quickly. Withdrawals delayed, accounts frozen, profits reversed, and the person who promised you this freedom, they become unreachable. The luxury lifestyle that convinced you to trust them suddenly becomes a mirage. In the next chapter, we strip away all the Instagram filters and we dissect exactly how the system works and why the promise of being regulated may be nothing than an illusion. The word juristic sounds cold, almost mechanical, but it's at the heart of one of South Africa's most misunderstood financial relationships. To understand how ordinary people is drawn into risky offshore trading, you first have to understand the role of a juristic representative. In the Financial Advisory and Intermediary Services Act, the FIS Act, the term juristic representative is straightforward. You don't hold your own license. You operate under someone else's. It's a way for smaller entities to get a foot in the industry without going through the lengthy and expensive process themselves. When done right, this arrangement can be very efficient, beneficial for both parties. A small advisory firm might be operating under the license of a larger Johannesburg firm, and that All of that is well because it is still within the reach of the South African law and most importantly, the FSCA. While the FSCA has oversight, the client still enjoys the full protection of the South African law. It's a win-win for everyone involved. But the trouble begins when the license holder is not in Cape Town or Johannesburg or the whole of South Africa for that matter. When it belongs to a broker based in a different jurisdiction, the FSCA's protective reach ends, and that's where the risk thrives. From a compliance point of view, when a juristic rep is tied to an offshore broker, the FSCA has no right to investigate the juristic rep. They can't even enforce in that jurisdiction. The consumer, you, believe you covered, but you're actually not. In the fine print, often skipped by eager new clients, the truth is laid bare. Any disputes must be handled in the broker's home country. The South African consumer laws you thought applied, they don't. The juristic representative system was introduced to help smaller companies grow without being strangled by bureaucracy. But back then, retail forex trading wasn't a social media phenomenon. The lawmakers didn't anticipate Instagram celebrities funneling South African funds to brokers half a world away. The loophole lies in the wording. The FISE Act does not forbid a juristic representative to partner with a foreign entity. This means a trader in Johannesburg can legally represent a broker in Vanuatu, claim regulated status, and recruit South African clients, all while being outside the FSCA's enforcement net. For the client, the sign-up process feels safe. The juristic rep is South African. The website looks polished. Somewhere in the terms, the forex broker is named, but for most people, that is just a step to click past. And once the funds are sent, they leave the local banking system. They enter the international pipeline, converted to US dollars, European euro, even British pounds. But they arrive at another bank controlled by the offshore broker. From that moment forth, your protection is no longer South African. That is the anatomy of the system. Legitimate in structure, questionable in practice, perfectly legal on paper, but potentially devastating in reality to you, the consumer. In the next chapter, we follow the money from Johannesburg to the tiniest of islands with big financial secrets, and we ask the question, why do so many brokers choose to base themselves in the smallest of regions? So, your money leaves Johannesburg in seconds, a digital heartbeat pulsing through fiber cables under oceans across continents. But it doesn't land on Wall Street. It arrives here, in a place most South Africans will never see, governed by laws most will never read, enforced by regulators most will never meet. These are the world's offshore financial hubs. To the casual eye, they're idyllic tourist destinations, but in the world of high-risk trading, they are something else entirely. Sanctuaries for brokers seeking light-touch regulation and low-cost licensing. In Vanuatu, you can obtain a forex broker's license in under a month for less than the cost of a small family car. Minimum capital requirements are a fraction of those in South Africa or the European Union. Oversight is minimal, enforcement even less. For brokers, the equation is simple. Fewer rules mean fewer costs and fewer consequences. But that freedom for them can mean danger for you. Once your money lands offshore, it's governed by the laws of that country. If a dispute arises, you can't call the FSCA for help. You'd need to file a complaint in a foreign jurisdiction, often in a language you don't speak, in a court you can't access, under rules you don't understand. For many South African juristic reps, partnering with offshore brokers is a business decision. Offshore brokers often offer higher leverage limits, allowing traders to place bigger bets, bigger commission payouts per client, and fewer rules on marketing and client onboarding. This is where the incentives align. The broker wants more clients, the rep wants higher payouts, and the client wants quick profits. The problem is, when things go wrong, only one party loses, the client. The juristic rep often represents the offshore broker as regulated, which may be technically true in that broker's home country, but that regulation might mean nothing more than having an address and paying an annual fee. And so the illusion is complete. The South African trader believes they're protected by a robust system, when in reality their funds are sitting in a jurisdiction designed to keep outsiders, especially regulators, at arm's length. It's not just distance in miles, it's distance in protection. The further your funds travel into lightly regulated waters, the harder it becomes to bring them back. But perhaps the most dangerous part isn't the geography at all. It's the belief that because your trade is regulated, you are safe. In the next chapter, we take apart that belief and show you why the protection you think you have may be nothing more than a marketing slogan. For many South Africans, the four letters FSCA, that feels like a safety net. The FSCA is the guardian of South Africa's financial systems. The referee keeping the game fair, if you know what I mean. But what if that badge of safety wasn't what you thought it was? What if the protection you think you had was just in fact a sticker on a marketing brochure? The FSCA has earned its reputation by chasing down scammers, warning the public, and regulating legitimate businesses. In South Africa, an FSCA license means something: strict compliance, regular audits, dispute resolution for consumers. But here's the trap: not all regulated brokers are regulated here. A trader can be a juristic representative of an offshore broker, and that broker may be regulated, but only in their own country. The FSCA's name is never actually on the license, yet the rep uses it in conversation, in ads, in social media bios, and most people never bother to check. If the broker's license is from, say, Belize or Vanuatu, South African law has no jurisdiction. The FSCA can't recover your funds. They can't find that broker. They can't force them to process your withdrawals. The FSCA makes it very easy to check if a financial services provider is very well locally regulated. But for some, the excitement of quick money overshadows due diligence. And many of these offshore brokers, they know this. They always wrap it up in a 3-step process. Step 1, legitimize and familiarize their brand with the language of safety. Step 2, show proof of success. Step 3, they always push urgency. It's always a matter of sign up now or miss out on the deal. Humans are wired to trust visuals. Seeing a withdrawal proof, even if it's just a small amount, overrides the instinct to double check the fine print.
GBP. Now, that's about 37 million. Now, this is me, coach.
It's not until the larger withdrawals fail that the illusion collapses. But these warnings rarely reach the same audience that the influencers do. Social media moves fast. Regulatory statements moves very slow. And in that gap, the illusion thrives. By the time the clients realize that the FSCA's reach doesn't stretch till where their brokers are, it's already too late. And the rep, they always just shrug and say, I'm just a marketer. The broker is beyond a jurisdiction, and your money is gone. But what if the real business model here isn't trading at all? What if the real profits are made not from the markets, but from recruiting you into them? In the next chapter, we uncover the commission structures and incentive schemes driving South Africa's offshore Forex boom, and why they look uncomfortably like the oldest scam in the book. In the sales pitch, it's all about trading, mastering the markets, predicting currency moves, making money while you sleep. But behind the scenes, many South African juristic reps are in a very different business, and it has little to do with trading at all. It's called the Introducing Broker or IB model. It's not unique to South Africa and it's not illegal, but when combined with offshore brokers and social media marketing, it can start to look a lot like the oldest money-making scheme in the book. Here's how it works. You bring a new client to the broker. They start trading. Every time they open or close a position, the broker earns a spread, the difference between buy and sell prices. You, as the IB, you get a cut. The more clients you bring, the more trades they make, the more you earn, whether they win or lose in the market. In many setups, the emphasis quietly shifts from trading skills to recruitment. You're encouraged to bring in friends and family. The mentor offers you a partnership. You can become an IB too. Soon, you're not just trading, you're building a whole downline. At this point, the model starts to mirror multi-level marketing schemes. Commissions flow up the chain. The broker benefits from every layer of recruitment. The juristic rep at the top earns the most, and their earnings has very little to do with trading, but more with how many people they can bring in. For the recruits, the dream seems attainable. The mentor's lifestyle is proof that it can be done. The barrier to entry is very low. Just open an account, fund it, and trade. But in reality, the biggest barrier is invisible. The money flows upwards instead of outwards. Trading income rises and falls as the market fluctuates. But IB income, that doesn't fluctuate at all. As long as you keep your clients active and trading, you will keep on earning. For some juristic reps, trading is just a prop. The real money is in that referral pipeline. Offshore brokers sweeten the deal. They offer higher payouts per client than many local brokers can, sometimes as high as 50% of the spread. They may also pay bonuses for hitting recruitment targets, and some even offer tiered payouts for multi-level recruitment structures. When the recruitment slows down, the income dries up. Some mentors then move on to the next broker, taking their network with them. Others disappear entirely. The clients left behind, they may still be trading, but they're doing so without the person that brought them there. They are actually just numbers on the broker's books now. No more personal interactions. The IB model itself is legal. Pyramid schemes are not. The difference is in the emphasis. If there is no genuine product or service beyond recruitment, it crosses into illegality. But proving that in Forex can be difficult, especially when trading activity exists, even if it's secondary. And so the cycle continues. New broker, new recruits, new promises. For the client, the risk is the same. If the broker is offshore, the FSCA's hands are tied. And if your mentor is more recruiter than trader, their loyalty is to the commission structure, not your financial success. But the story doesn't end with clever marketing and commissions. The FSCA knows this game and they've been trying to close loopholes since forever. In the next chapter, we go inside South Africa's financial watchdog to see how they're fighting back and why the law still leaves dangerous gaps. In Pretoria's mainland main district, behind glass walls and stacks of case files, South Africa's financial watchdog works late into the night. Every day, new complaints arrive. Tales of vanished withdrawals, unreachable brokers, and traders who thought they were protected. But there's a problem. Many of these brokers are ghosts in the eyes of South African law. They operate from overseas, places where regulation is light, consumer protection is minimal, and the court orders from Pretoria carry no weight. South African law is designed to regulate entities operating within its borders. The FSCA licenses local financial services providers, or FSPs, and can take action against them if they misbehave. But if a broker is registered in Seychelles or Belize, that's beyond the FSCA's reach. Here's where the loophole comes in. If a South African is a juristic rep of a locally licensed broker, that's still fine. The FSCA can still get to them if they misbehave. But that FSP may partner with an offshore broker, one that isn't bound by the FSCA's rules. The rep can market and onboard clients to that offshore broker, giving the impression of FSCA oversight without the FSCA protection. Even if the FSCA wanted to act against the offshore broker, they'd need international cooperation, which is slow, expensive, and often fruitless. Many offshore jurisdictions are under no obligation to help, and those that do may take months, by which time the broker can simply vanish. The FSCA issues dozens of public warnings each year, but the reality is that a lot of people won't see that. The average trader is more likely to follow their mentor right around social media instead of following an official channel by the FSCA releasing these warnings. And even when warnings are read, they don't undo the damage. By the time a broker appears on that list, countless South Africans may already have sent money offshore. Some regulators overseas require that if you market to their citizens, you must be licensed locally. South Africa doesn't enforce that as strictly. There's a growing argument that we should champion, and that is to close the juristic rep loophole. Proposals include tighter definitions to what juristic reps can promote, mandatory disclosure of where a client's funds are actually held, and heavier penalties for misleading marketing. But every rule has trade-offs. Too strict and legitimate global businesses may suffer. The law has its limits. Offshore brokers knows this, and the reps exploits this. Their social media platforms is the perfect delivery systems. In the next chapter, we step into the digital arena, where the battle for trust is fought in likes, shares, comments, and the promise of overnight wealth. Swipe up, tap follow, join the revolution. Social media isn't just a place to share your life. It's the new battleground for trust, influence, and money. And in South Africa's Forex scene, it's where offshore brokers and juristic reps wage their most expensive war. Gone are the days of printed brochures and cold calls. Today, your financial advisor could be a 22-year-old Instagram influencer with 50,000 followers, flashing Lamborghinis and promises of financial freedom. They post the lifestyle, luxury cars, international flights, designer clothes as proof that they have cracked the code. The captions hype up the opportunity. Make 10,000 Rand a day trading from your phone. Join my VIP mentorship group. Earn passive income while you sleep. These influencers are masters of the digital hustle. They understand algorithms, engagement, and human psychology. Their content is crafted to inspire FOMO, which is the fear of missing out, and urgency. Limited spots, last chance to join, only for serious traders. That is of their most used phrases. Many influencers blend education with marketing. They'll teach you some basics, share trading tips, and then they drop a link, usually to an offshore broker. The subtlety means viewers may not realize they're being recruited into a sales funnel. Transparency, often missing. Most don't clearly disclose their financial relationship with the broker. Viewers see FSCA approved or licensed broker sprinkled in the bio, but few click to actually verify. The algorithms reward engagement, not accuracy. The more people comment, share, or tag friends, the wider the reach. Controversy, bold claims, and emotional stories drive engagement. It's a perfect storm for misinformation and hype. Social proof is powerful. When you have hundreds of people saying they have made it, it kind of makes you feel safe to join. But fake testimonials, paid shoutouts, and bot accounts can manufacture that whole illusion. Regulators have tried to police social media. The FSCA issues warnings and asks platforms to remove harmful content, but social media moves fast. Social media accounts banned one day will appear the next with a whole new name and a new profile. For many, the loss isn't just financial. It's trust in the digital world, in mentors, and in their own judgment. The rapid-fire nature of social media means decisions are made quickly, often without full understanding or due diligence. Social media is both the megaphone and the mirror of our times, reflecting dreams, fears, and the cost of chasing easy money. But how do you protect yourself in a world where trust is just a like away? In our final chapter, we bring it all together, the warning signs, the lessons, and how to trade safely in a digital age. South Africa's Forex market is vibrant, full of opportunity, but shadowed by complexity. Offshore brokers, juristic reps, and social media influencers have woven a web that can be hard to untangle, but knowledge is key to safety. First, understand who you are dealing with. Is your broker licensed locally by the FSCA or they registered offshore? Do they have a physical office? And if you're working with a juristic rep, what exactly is their relationship to the broker? Next, watch out for red flags. Overemphasis on recruitment instead of trading, promises of guaranteed returns, vague or missing disclosures, and heavy social media hype are signs to proceed with caution. The FSCA is a resource. Use it. Check their list of licensed entities, report suspicious activity, and stay informed about public warnings. Regulators want to protect you, but they need your vigilance too. Due diligence isn't just a step in the process, it's your safeguard. Ask questions, demand transparency, and never rush into funding an account. There is hope on the horizon. South Africa's financial sector is evolving with new regulations, improved education programs, and growing awareness. By shining a light on offshore risks and holding influencers accountable, the landscape can become safer. The story of offshore trading is still being written. You can be a part of the next chapter, armed with knowledge, cautious but optimistic, ready to navigate the markets wisely. Because in the end, your financial future deserves nothing less.